At that point, I was thinking that the tour wasn't so bad, but I had no idea what was ahead of me.
Bring some weed, I got a story to tell.
From prison to prison, jail to jail, 2 years straight, nigga just survived off Mel, you know.
My life, my life, my life, my life, my life. Ain't no justice, just us.
Peace, everyone. It's Ra. I want to thank you for joining me for No Justice, Just Us, No Corrections and Correctional Facilities, which is my video series telling my journey through the New York State prison system. If you haven't already, go back and watch part 1 and my video of my top 15 warnings to stay out of prison. So the first episode was just covering my brief stint in the Buffalo Holding Center in downtown Buffalo. So in this episode is when I get transferred to Alden, which is all the way down Walden Street in Buffalo, New York. So let's get into it. Now, I don't really remember much about being transported from the Holding Center to Alden, but I do remember two very important things. The first thing is I remember feeling like a slave, feeling like human chattel, which you really are, because the way that they shackle you and cuff you is very slave-like. If you look at any movies, pictures, books with slaves with chains, you're that. That's how it feels. I can't even really put into words how so many emotions I was feeling. I was feeling disrespected. I was feeling sad. They try to make you feel less than a man. I don't know if you're familiar with the phrase, God names his children and the devil numbers his. And that's exactly what happens when you get in the system. What they do is they strip you of your name and they give you a number, a DIN number. And mine was 19B0480. They strip you of your individuality. They take away your clothes and your style, and they give you state-issued clothing. So you're dressed just like everyone else. They make carbon copies. So they strip you of your name and give you a number. They strip your individuality and they give you state-issued clothes so everyone looks the same. Then they strip away all of your rights. They tell you what to wear, when to eat, where to go, when to do it, how to do it. They take you away from everything and everyone that you love. Your house, your cars, material possessions, your family, your mother, father, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, children, your woman. They take you away from everyone. I was all alone. As I stated in the first episode, I was not affiliated with a gang, a religion, a neighborhood, so I was definitely on my own and had to hold it down. Now, the second thing I remember when I was on the bus ride is thinking, this is the tour that people kept telling me about. I was fighting my case in court for about 5 months before I actually got locked up. I was speaking to people that had been to jail before or that know people who have been in prison before, and they were telling me they're going to send you on a tour. And I'm like, what's the tour? And it was like, so basically the tour is they're going to send you to a couple of prisons, some county, some state, just like 2 to 3 prisons before you get to the prison that you're going to do the remainder of your time. But to my surprise, my tour was a little different than most people's. So we'll get to that in the later episodes. But I will tell you this. I was in 7 facilities within the first 5 months of my bid. That was my tour. So I finally arrived at Alden. Now, I remember walking through the halls when I first got in there. It really just reminded me of a high school hallway, like a school, the part I was in. So then when they take me to where I'm going to be staying, I can't remember. Like I said, it was a long time ago. I took notes of all of this stuff. I had notes. What happened was I moved a few times between me getting out and now. And in the move, I lost all of my notes. So I'm trying to remember as much as I can. And I had to gather up the few notes that I could. But so now I'm in Alden. I go in and I remember the part I was staying in, I thought I was going to be in a cell or maybe even a pod, which is a little bigger than a cell, but it looked like a school gymnasium. It was like that yellow color and it was that size, maybe a little bigger. And I just remember seeing it, and there were so many bunk beds all around the perimeter of this room. And then there was the CO bubble off to the side, not quite in the middle, but off to the side a little bit. The CO bubble is a desk and or an office where the COs sit, do their paperwork, and that's where you can find the COs at. There's a TV facing the CO's bubble, a big TV. Then there's another big TV facing the opposite way. There's a doorway for the bathroom, and there's another doorway for the shower. There's no doors, but there's just doorways. So it's like a big gymnasium with two doorways, one for the bathroom, one for the shower, the CO bubble. So another detail that I almost left out was there was one more door that led outside to like a little rec area. Now, it didn't qualify to be called as the yard. It was caged in. It was only big enough for a little bit of workout equipment where you could do dips, pull-ups, sit-ups, things of that nature, but it was all caged in. The sides, the top, it had barbed wire all over it. So they let you know you couldn't get away, and they definitely reminded you, no matter how much fun you had on the inside, that you definitely still are in prison. But we did have some great workouts out there, though. It was brick. It was cold as ever, but that didn't deter me. I still had to get it. And then there's like 4 or 5 phones on the wall. So you can just use the phone whenever you want in there, as long as it's not count time or you're not on lockdown or anything. So you can use the phone all day in there as long as you got money on your books.
Ain't no justice, just us.